Hey guys, I've got a task for you today. This task requires you guys to measure a piece of furniture in your house and then recreate that on some CAD software. So, welcome to my home. We're going to be measuring this table and we're going to be recreating that on our CAD software. So here we go. So guys, to complete this task we're going to need a couple of things. A blank piece of paper, a pencil so that we can take some sketches and notes, and a tape measure. If you don't have a tape measure, you can use a ruler or perhaps mum's sewing tape measure, but a tape measure like this is actually really helpful and make the job really easy. We're only going to be doing some sketches on this piece of paper, so they don't have to be pretty. They're really just get all the information down so we can transfer it from this piece of paper onto our CAD software later. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to do a quick sketch of our table. Now, it doesn't have to be accurate, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to actually figure out some of the design parts of that later. So let's draw a quick sketch of our table now. So, I'm going to draw a side view here. And my table's very basic of a table. Yours might be a little different, but that's okay. That's my side view. And I'm going to do my end view. And this doesn't have to be pretty. You'll notice my lines aren't straight. I'm not using a ruler. It's just a very quick sketch so that we can put our measurements down on the page. Side view, end view. Okay, I don't think I'm going to need a top view, only because the top view is just going to look like a big rectangle. Okay, so now we need to get some measurements on the page. We need to take the measurements from our table. So let's get our tape measure and we'll measure the length of our table, which is exactly 2 meters. So that's 2,000 millimeters. I'm going to write that on my page. I'm going to measure the width. Exactly 1 meter. So that's 1,000. And I'm going to measure the thickness of my top. It's 20 millimeters thick. So now I've written down on my page 2,000 millimeters long for the length, 1,000 millimeters for the width, and 20 millimeters for the thickness of my top. Okay, there's my top piece. Now I need to just do this again for all my other pieces. I'm going to start next with my legs. When you're measuring the legs of your table, you need to be careful. Sometimes, like in my case, you'll have a leg that is wider at the top than it is at the bottom. So you need to take both those measurements. I'm going to measure the top here, and the width is 75 millimeters. Now, it's actually a square because it's 75 this way and 75 that way. But at the bottom here, it's only 60 millimeters. So it's cut down about 15 millimeters off the inside edge here. 60 millimeters this way and 60 millimeters that way. Now, because I actually made this table, I already knew that. And I know that the tapering on the inside of the leg is where that 15 millimeters is taken off. It's only cut 15 millimeters on one side and then another 15 millimeters on this side. But these two edges are just straight. So that's my width, and then my length. The length of the leg is 730. Let's write those down. So here I've written 75 millimeters at the top, 60 millimeters at the bottom, and 730 wide. And I've actually drawn on the inside here, I've shown how the edge is tapering on the inside there with my darker line that I've drawn here. I can do the same on my other legs, but they're all going to be the same anyway, so I'm only going to need to really do it on one. Alright, so now is the trickier part. We're actually going to need to climb underneath the table. Looking underneath my table, I can see a couple of interesting things. Namely, the way that the top pieces are actually pulled together. So if I look around right now, I can see a couple of other pieces as part of the underside of my table that you couldn't see before. So underneath, I've actually got where the rail meets the leg, I know because I've put this together myself, as I said before, this rail actually has a tenon on it and it goes into the hole called the mortise on the leg. So they sort of slot together. But I've covered those things up with these corner blocks to add strength to the table. So behind here, in here is the hole cut into the leg and the tenon cut on the rail. Now, you won't be able to see that on your table. You'll have to have a guess as to what join there might be. If you've got a rail that meets the leg in a similar way like this, I would suggest making it a mortise and tenon joint because that's a really strong joint. But other joins that could be used here are domino joins, biscuit joins, dowel joins, sometimes even some more fancier ones like a bridle joint, okay? Now, that's what I've got behind these corner blocks, but you'll also notice these table clips, these silver pieces that sort of slot into this groove on the rail. So what I've actually done when I've made this table is I've cut a groove on the inside of my rail and I've put this table clip and it clips into that groove there and then a screw goes through it into the tabletop. And that's what holds my tabletop down against the rails. So this clip is actually really helpful because it can allow movement of the timber. If this tabletop wants to expand or contract, it can do so as it moves this way, and that table clip will allow it to move that little bit whilst also holding it down hard against the rail. Okay? Now it's really interesting to have a look under your table and see what methods that they've used to screw these together, but your table might not look like my table, so you need to have a look at what your table is doing underneath. Now I've also got, if I get a good view of this, I've also got a middle brace. This helps to keep our rails the same distance apart from each other in the middle of the table where there is no leg. So this rail here, I call this a mid rail, and it's also just a little bit narrower so that you can't see it when you're looking at the table from the outside. So now that we know that there's a mortise and tenon join back here, I'm going to just indicate that on the drawing. Mortise and tenon. Okay? Mortise and tenon join, and I've got an arrow pointing to where it is there. Alright, now we need to measure our rails. Okay, so measuring your rails now, I'm going to measure my long rail from my leg to my leg, and it is 1740. Write that on my page. The width of my rail is 90 mil. And the thickness of my rail, just 20 millimeters. Now, this is my long rail, but I also need to measure my end rails, the shorter ones on the end. They're actually 790. But I also know as well that they are the same width and thickness as the rest. Okay? The last thing I need to do is that middle rail that's underneath. So I'm going to lie down underneath now and measure the distance between each one. And it's 850, so I can write that down on my page too. Okay, so these are now all my measurements that I need to go and recreate this on the CAD software. So I've got my length of my rail here, it's 1740, it's 90 mil wide and it's 20 mil thick. Now because you couldn't see the thickness there, I just wrote next to it 20 mil thick. Again, whatever seems to work for you, this is just meant to be a rough sketch. I've written the short rails here at 790, and I remember that that rail is the same as that rail as far as width and thickness. And now my mid rail, I've just drawn a quick top view of my mid rail all by itself. The overall length is 850 and the width 75, thickness 20. Okay, now it's got these two little caps on the end. I'm not going to worry about the size of those for the moment. We'll work that out later on the CAD software. It really doesn't matter about the size of those caps. If you want to be really particular about it, you can measure it, but for these ones, I'm not too worried about exactly what size they are because they're not really seen anyway. Alright, so that's the end of part 1 of this video. You'll need to go to part 2 now to see how I'm going to recreate this on the CAD software.